Hi everyone, and welcome back to Living with Long COVID with me, Jade. Now, before we get into things, I just wanted to address a few questions that I've had recently about these videos. I make these videos for my own creative purposes to help other people, long haulers out there in the community, and also to help spread awareness about long COVID. I do not receive any money for doing this. I wish. I do not receive any advertising money for doing this. So this is completely off my own back because I just want to help the community. So back to the video. And this series is called Therapies That I've Tried. This week we are discussing Low Dose Naltrexone, also known as LDN. Now, you might have heard about this from other long haulers or online forums like I did and were curious. And if so, this video is for you. And if you are taking it, you might learn something new. So what is LDN? LDN stands for Low Dose Naltrexone. Naltrexone is a drug used to manage alcohol and opiate addiction by reducing cravings. At low doses, naltrexone appears to trick the brain into producing more natural opioids, which increases the level of naturally occurring opioids in our body to make us feel good and provide pain relief. It also reduces inflammation by decreasing the amount of inflammatory molecules known as cytokines. These are associated with pain, inflammation, fatigue, and feeling worn down, which we all know very well. Now, I'm not a doctor, so here is your disclaimer. Please always check with your health professional as to whether you should be taking this. Low-dose naltrexone has been used to treat autoimmune disorders, cancer, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic pain, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, and now long COVID. So what does it do for long COVID? Well, in a nutshell, it reduces pain and reduces inflammation. It targets two of the main 4 issues that doctors see with long haulers, which is inflammation in the body and brain, and also immune dysregulation. So, how did I come across it? Well, I heard about it from another long hauler, Ollie, who you will meet later in this video. So I did my research, consulted a medical professional, and they concluded that whilst it's not part of the official NICE guidelines, which are UK based, they said that it is so low dose, it is completely safe to try. And I just thought to myself, well, what have I got to lose? So now let's have a chat with Linda Elsegood from the LDN Research Trust. Hey Linda, thank you so much for coming to chat with me on my Living with Long COVID channel.
Well, my name's Linda Elsegood and I'm the founder and CEO of the LDN Research Trust, which is a registered charity, and everybody working for the LDN Research Trust does so as a volunteer. We don't have any paid staff. So it's a labour of love.
Amazing. What is your health background? How did you come to LDN?
So I've actually got multiple sclerosis. So it wasn't until 2000 that I was diagnosed with MS. Mm-hmm. By 2003, the left-hand side of my body was numb with pins and needles, and the pins and needles was very painful. I lost the hearing in my left ear. I had double vision. I lost my bowel and bladder control. I had twitching muscles, restless legs, burning limbs. Cognitively, it was as though I'd had a stroke. I was slurring my words, choking on my food, but I couldn't recall vocabulary. And what I would put a sentence together in my head, and when it came out, it was gobbledygook. Nobody could understand what I was saying, but I thought it was okay in my head, but it obviously wasn't. And I slept 20 hours a day. It gave me a relief from everything I was having to deal with. And I went to see my neurologist, and he put his hand across the desk and shook hands with me and said, "Really sorry to tell you, you're secondary progressive now." And as he said that, he got up, opened the door and said, "There's nothing more we can do for you." Oh. So the only thing I could do was to find something myself, and I managed to find, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Google or anything in those days. I managed to find a chat room for people with MS, and people were telling me, "Have you heard of LDN? Have you tried LDN?" long story short, I managed to find a doctor in Wales, a Dr. Bob Lawrence, who gave me all the information on LDN to take to my own doctor. My doctor wouldn't prescribe LDN, but she did say that if I could find somebody who would prescribe it for me, she would monitor me. So I felt quite happy about that. It took 18 months to get to where I am today. So, you know, you have to be patient. So what did I want to do when I started to feel better? And it was a no-brainer. I wanted to help other people that have been told there's nothing more we can do for you. And our caveat is that LDN isn't a miracle drug or a cure, and it doesn't work for everyone. But when it does work, like for me, it's nothing short of miraculous, you know? So
Amazing.
The only way to be taken seriously was to set up a registered charity. But that was 20 years ago, and there are thousands of doctors now who are prescribing LDN for many different conditions.
How does LDN work?
LDN works on reducing the inflammation in the body and help regulate a dysfunctional immune system, which is fantastic. So it's not aiming to reduce the symptoms, it's helping to adjust the root cause of the problems. So it works on the opioid receptors and it blocks your endorphin receptors. So it makes it look as though your body has no endorphins. So your body creates 100% of endorphins. Endorphins are your body's natural own painkiller and feel-good factor. So, but it also works on the toll-like receptors, which decreases your inflammation in the body. If you have any chronic condition, chronic pain being included in there, your body is absolutely full of inflammation. And lots of doctors who do presentations, they call it a brain on fire. So by reducing the inflammation, helps treat those root causes.
Is LDN a known treatment for long COVID?
Professor Angus Dalgleish, who's a top oncologist at St George's Hospital in London, and he's also a virologist. He has all his long COVID patients on LDN as a matter of course, and he thinks that people with long COVID, the first line of treatment should be LDN. And people have asked him, but how do you know these people weren't improving anyway? How do we know it's not the placebo effect? And he says, well, it's quite simple. Get them to stop taking it. What's the results? Oh, they've gone back to being how they were before. And that's the proof.
Exactly. Well, see that, and that's the thing I think that's really interesting about LDN is that you can stop it and see how you go for a few weeks. And then if your symptoms are starting to get worse again, you can go back on it. So it's I found it quite reassuring that you could start it, and if you start on such a low dose that if you start having bad side effects, you can just stop it completely. Is LDN safe to try?
Yes, LDN is not a toxic drug. It was trialled back in the late 70s, early 80s. Yes, it's safe, and it was safe back in the day when they were taking 150 milligrams a day.
Yeah, I believe for long COVID patients, we go up to 4.5 milligrams. So you work your way up from 1.5 all the way up to 4.5 milligrams. And are there any risks with low dose naltrexone? Any risks or side effects? Would you mind just listing the side effects? That would be really helpful.
Okay, 9 out of 10 people experience no side effects whatsoever. But the ones that do might have headaches, they might have sleep disturbance, they might have vivid dreams. Vivid dreams is one of the common side effects amongst those that do experience side effects. But they're usually transient, meaning that after a couple of weeks they're generally gone. If you do have any side effects, we always say don't increase the dose, because if you increase the dose while you've got side effects, those side effects could increase. So wait until your body is absolutely fine. People say, how long does that take? Well, everybody's individual. So when you know that whatever side effect you had has gone, then you're okay to increase. If you increase and the side effect comes back, you can either wait, depending on the severity of it, or decrease it back again and wait another couple of weeks and then try again. It's really what they call personalised medicine, so it's individual to that person. I would say that LDN was first used by Dr. Bernard Bahari in 1985, and patients still contact me who've been taking it since 1985, and they would never stop it, and they've had no ill effects from taking it long term. I've been taking it now since 2000, so it will be 24 years this December, and I still have noticed no side effects in all that time, only improvements.
What would you suggest people do when they're first starting to research this?
Okay, so the website is www.ldnresearchtrust.org, and on there we have LDN guides. So we always say they're a good read. If you want to print them out and take them to your doctor and ask if they will prescribe them, there are thousands of people in the UK that do manage to get it prescribed by their doctor and on the NHS. I'm not one of them, unfortunately.
If people are having trouble, obviously first port of call is going to your doctor and saying you'd like to trial this, but if they're having trouble getting their doctor to prescribe it, is there somewhere else that they can go to?
Yep. On the website, if you have a look under LDN prescriptions, it's a drop-down list at the top, and then click on telemed consultations, then put in the UK, and it will come up with the prescribers that would prescribe LDN via telemedicine. So, that's an alternative way of getting it if your own GP wouldn't prescribe it for you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so helpful. I think it's been really lovely chatting to you, and I was just going to ask, is there anything else that you would like to say, or anything you feel that we haven't covered?
We're all about helping people. That's the goal and the mission. So if anybody has any questions, we have a contact us form, and you would get a reply from a medical professional. It's not me who's answering those questions. So if anybody has any medical questions, they can submit it there. We also, at the bottom of our page, have a newsletter sign up. So if people want to have our free weekly newsletter, they can sign up to that as well. We have a Facebook group which is for patients, LDN Research Trust. You can find that on Facebook. We also have a medical professionals Facebook where if there are any doctors listening, you can join that. You have to put in your PIN number and things and be verified to gain access to that. We're on LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, what do they call it, X, Instagram. There are so many different ways you can find out about us and watch different videos and interviews. And if anybody out there is using LDN for long COVID who'd like to share their story with me, I'd love to interview you. So I'm now at the end of my 3-month trial, and has it helped? Yeah, I definitely feel it has improved my overall baseline. I've seen small improvements in energy, but moreover that I can sustain more energy over longer periods. I feel that I'm mentally clearer, definitely, and able to think through complex thoughts. But I'm still not 100%, as you could tell. I've not had any side effects, luckily for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more info, please go to the LDN Research Trust. The website link is below. I hope this has been helpful and informative, and if you do like this video, please give it a like, write a comment, or even buy me a coffee. I do read all the comments and I'm really grateful for your feedback. So thank you so much. Stay hopeful, stay positive. Until next time, I'll see you soon.